Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mighty Blaze. I'm Jenna Blum, one of the co-founders of The Blaze, here with my other co-founder, Caroline Levitt, who is rarely on the same screen with me. I'm so excited to see her. And Kendall Busquet, our TikTok director, and Ellen Commissar, our debut Spotlight host, and Karen, newsletter. Karen is being very modest. She does everything. She does scheduling. She does the newsletter. She does the calendar. She produces. So if you want anything at the Blaze, you can ask Karen. You should bribe her with everything.
Right. She's the best.
She is the best. You are all the best. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight for Blaze Book Club. September is a huge month in book world. I don't know why, but February, May, and September are like these giant months when you get all of these huge books dropping. And so I'm really glad that we're all here tonight to give our recommendations as to what you should read for your fall reading, or at least until the next books come out in October. So who would like to go first?
I will. I will. Okay. The first book I have is. Oh, what?
No, go.
Okay. This book, Sacrament, by Susan Straight, who is incredible. This book is coming out at the beginning of October, and it's amazing. It is about a group of nurses, and I love nurses. We all love nurses, living in an RV. We all love RVs near a hospital during the lockdown of COVID. And because, there's no vaccines yet or anything, one of the nurses is separated from her daughter because she's working with COVID patients. She doesn't want to give COVID to her daughter. And the daughter runs away. It's just gorgeously written, beautiful book. Susan actually is going to be on the Blaze in a few weeks. And you want to read this book. It's just wonderful, wonderful. This one, I read it on ebook, so I don't have the cover. So here's my little cover. This is At Last by Marissa Silver. She's one of my favorite writers. She actually wrote Mary Coyne about the Depression. And she does the kind of books that I love, which are really, really immersive. This one it's set in the mid-century in the 50s about two women, two mothers-in-laws whose kids married. How the two mothers-in-laws impact one another's life. It's funny, it's real, it's just extraordinary. Okay. This one. I've been posting about this book everywhere. Ann Packer's also coming on the Blaze. Some Bright Nowhere is it's absolutely incredible, and it's coming in November. And I always say, I love a book when it breaks me, and this one broke me in the best way. This book it's about this guy, Elliot, and he loves his wife, Claire. Claire loves him. Claire gets cancer, the bad kind, and she's going to die within months. Okay, it's a familiar story. This is where it gets very unfamiliar. Claire tells him she wants Elliot to move out of the house because she wants to spend her last months with her best friends, her best women friends. Elliot can come visit, maybe, but she wants her life to be with her best friends. It's, you'll cry, it's about friendship and warmth and marriage and everything else, and it's just completely wonderful. Moving on to horror. I love horror. I watch horror movies. I go every week I can with my son, who also loves horror. This is Dan Shawn, one of us. He's the master of the scary stuff. This is 1915. Two 13-year-old twins are forced to leave home and be under the care of their really mean uncle, who's a con man. So they leave home and they go to this place, which is a kind of circus, the Emporium of.
Okay, that's scary.
Yep, and they travel across America with this circus, even as the con man is hot on their trail. It's Dan Shawn, who is like a complete wonderful teddy bear, even though he writes these terrifying, brilliant novels, and it's just great.
Are there scary clowns?
Yeah, are there clowns?
I don't know. I'm afraid of clowns. Clowns are scary.
Circuses are scary. Circuses are scary, Caroline.
I know they are scary. Wreck by the author of Sandwich. Again, I have this on the e-reader. I loved Sandwich, and actually, Catherine Newman is going to come on the Blaze also, because as soon as I read Sandwich, which I originally wasn't sure I wanted to read, and then I got so encapsulated in it because it's about, your kids are grown, your parents are aging, and you're stuck in the middle. What is life like? So I wrote her, and she wrote me back, and then I immediately went and got Wreck. Wreck, I haven't actually started it yet, other than the first chapter. It's about Rock and her family 2 years later, same family in Sandwich. It's about the fault lines from the local accident and how it impacts the family.
Well, Caroline, can I interject this for a second? Because I'm interviewing her about Wreck, right? So, and I didn't read Sandwich when everybody else read Sandwich, but I requested Wreck, and I read them back to back. And you guys, they are so funny. Like I am the person who has nothing in common with this heroine. I don't have a husband at the moment that I'm aware of. I don't have children. My parents are gone. So I'm not the Sandwich generation, and still I could relate to this book utterly. I think she wrote female friendship so well. She's such a smart ass that, like, for a week after I read these books, I was walking around like mouthing off to everybody. I know, hard to imagine, but true. And so I feel like she's kind of like this salty Elizabeth Berg for this generation. Like she's so great. So October 29th, she's on the Blaze. Read the book, come prepared to talk about it, or just come on and be introduced.
She's great. I have just two more. Ellen Marie Weisman, The Lies They Told, which is about eugenics. It is so completely great. It's a shattering story. It's based on a true story of eugenics in Virginia's Blue Ridge Mountains, where the eugenics office falsely accused a woman of feeble-mindedness. And of course, what do they do with people like that? They send them off to an institution for the feeble-minded, because we can't have people like that in the population. They seize her children, and it's just a book that's heartbreaking and important, and it's actually really timely for today. Plus, look at this cover. I mean, Ellen Marie Weisman is great, and you'll really like this book. It's really wonderful. And the last one, Jenna is interviewing them tomorrow. Okay.
Yes. So excited about this.
Please don't lie. What's so interesting about this book is it's by two separate authors, both best-selling authors, Christina Baker Klein and Anne Burt, and they decided to write a thriller together. And this is it. And it's particularly wonderful that Jenna is interviewing them, because Jenna has her first thriller coming out, and we all want to pre-order it as soon as we possibly can. And you have to, I'm a little addled from watching RFK, so tell me the title. Isn't it like Kill You, Murder Your Darlings?
Yes. Oh my God, I can't believe you remember that after watching
Murder Your Darlings.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's going to be fantastic, and that's one that you definitely want to pre-order. And that's it. That's it. Now I can shut up.
No, that was brilliant. We love that. Thank you. And thank you for letting me jump in about Wreck. I'm just so excited about that book, and about Please Don't Lie, which is super fun. It's a little bit like Virgin River, like you move to a rural area and become sort of like a happy trad wife after you leave the city, and then things go dreadfully awry. It's so fun. Okay, who will you pass the scepter to, Caroline?
Karen. She was on here first.
Thanks, Caroline. So I just have a couple books. I have Kristen Harmel, The Stolen Life of Colette Marceau. So that came out this summer, and it was one of my favorite books of the summer. So it's a dual timeline taking place in 2018 and 1934. And Colette Marceau, she in 2018, she lives a quiet life in Boston, but during the Second World War, she was an accomplished jewel thief who stole jewels for the French resistance. But in 1942, an event happened that changed her life. Her younger sister vanished and unfortunately was killed, but there was a diamond bracelet sewn into her nightgown, but that diamond bracelet disappeared. So now in 2018, the diamond bracelet has reappeared in a museum in Boston. And so this gives Colette a second chance to make peace with her past, to find out what happened to her sister. So this is a dazzling novel, and it's also heartbreak and bravery. And of course, Kristen Harmel is excellent. So this is a great book. My second book is the Book of Lost Hours, which just came out. This is by Haley Gelfuso, and she's actually here in Chicago, which is kind of exciting. She is this is a Good Morning America book pick, and it's also dual timeline, and it's a little bit of magical realism. In 1938, 11-year-old Elizabeth Levy, she's hidden by her father in this magical library. It's called the Time Space. And the Time Space has books that have memories of people who have passed.
Ooh.
And yeah, it's really interesting. So her father promises he's going to return, but he doesn't. So she's kind of stuck in this time space, and she's reading all these books and all these memories. And then she finds out that the government is coming in to destroy some of the memories. And so she starts gathering them and making a book of her own. And then it switches to 1965, where another a person who's associated with her past is informed by the CIA that about the time space, and so she goes in there to try to find this book and this person. So anyway, it's magical realism. It's really fun. It's books, it's libraries, which I just love all that stuff. So it's got an amazing love story, and it's just delightful. It's also a debut novel, which is awesome.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And then we have All This Could Be Yours by Hank Phillip Ryan.
Yay! Sorry.
Queen. Oh, Ellen's going to talk about it.
No, I just brought it along for show and tell.
I'll just say real quick, it's coming out next Tuesday, so be sure to pre-order this because she's a master of suspense, and we all love her, and she's amazing. So All This Could Be Yours by Hank Phillip Ryan. And then also just want to give a shout out. I am reading Please Don't Lie, and I love it.
Oh, great.
So excited
so
for
great.
it tomorrow. So thank you, and I'll pass it on to Kendall.
Thank you, Karen. Okay, I only have one. I feel underprepared because I only have one book, and all you guys have so many. But I had to bring along this beautiful book, Tabasis by Iris Wong.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yes, it just came out last week, actually. I went to see her talk in Boston on the release day. I think it was last Tuesday. And it was just so thrilling, like one of the best author events I've been to. And yes, it's completely, I don't know, a mind-blowingly new dark academia fantasy, a retelling of Dante's Inferno meets like this magic world where two PhD students go into hell to rescue their professor's soul, all in search of a letter of recommendation that will that will make or break their life. I think anyone in academia can kind of like relate to that. And yeah, it was just really thrilling how she spoke about this book and where she wrote it from. And of course, her just career has been so, at least for me, she's such a role model. Like she's written across genres, and this is her first, retelling. So yes, I'm very excited. I have not read it. I'm in the middle of her Poppy Wars trilogy right now. And so I'm just so looking forward to diving into this. And yeah, any event where you go to get a book, like with sprayed edges like this, it's just so beautiful. So I just had to show that off.
I want that. I can tell my publisher I want that. I don't want to step on Ellen's time, but I have questions about this, Kendall. So first of all, how was the event? Was it insane and packed, and where was it?
Packed. It was at the Wilbur Theater, and we turned the corner, and the line, I couldn't even believe the line out of this theater. And I mean, of course, she's amazing. She's great, not saying anything against her, but it was just so awesome seeing so many people so excited packing this theater. I'm pretty sure it was sold out. To see her, and yeah, the discussion was so great. It was so great. She spoke on, her experiences in academia right now. She's at Yale getting her PhD. Her just collegiate, resume is just so impressive to me. But yeah, it was really profound how she is writing on academia in a very forthcoming way, and especially the darker sides of it and the abuse that happens there. It was just so enlightening. It was so enlightening. And of course, just hearing her talk about her writing process, I wish I had a notebook with me the whole time. I wanted to just write down everything she said.
Did you have anything that stuck with you about the writing process for her?
Honestly, I was a little giddy at certain points when she did certain things that I do, and I was like, like, am I a writer too? Like, am I really, like, could I, you know? But no, I really resonated because she did talk about how she wrote this book during the darkest hour of her life. She was going through some really scary things with her husband and his illness that he was suffering from. And I really resonated with how she was just using writing as an escape. I think that's just so universal for all of us, and especially in a world right now where we feel so almost helpless at times. I think writing and reading is just that medium that we can channel that into. And I think, I just really resonated with how she uses this medium as well to do that, and really like use her platform to speak on the injustices within academia as well. It's just really inspiring.
Thank you. So exactly like Yellowface is what you're saying, basically.
Kind of. I think it. Yes, that was very like traditional publishing skewed. Obviously, it's not so quite like heavy on the Twitter beefs, I would say, like that book was. And this is obviously fantasy, but yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing how it's different and similar.
And speaking of Twitter thieves, Ellen is also our Twitter director. And guys, after we hosted E. Jean Carroll, or after we posted that we were hosting E. Jean Carroll, our Twitter plug got yanked. And I have been appealing it, and it is still yanked. So, booyah. But anyway, we're really glad you're watching us despite our Twitter black hole. And Ellen is still doing her debut hosting, which is magnificent, and has many book racks for us.
Yes, and we are still tweeting. We're just doing it under my own personal handle, elescom. And if you tweet it out afterwards, people will see stuff. So first of all, my first shout out is going to be to Hank Phillippe Ryan, because her book is about a debut author on book tour who has a dark secret and has got all sorts of issues. And because I host Debut Spotlight, she said, let's do it. So she will be on Friday Frontliner, the last Friday of September, which I believe is the 26th. And I will be interviewing her that week as the Debut Spotlight host. So looking forward to that. She was on this past week with Margaret Bernard, and they had a great conversation. And now I'm going to have to go find all sorts of new questions because Margaret already asked many great ones. So I've got a pile because September is a busy month. First book, Boy from the North Country by Sam Sussman. If you haven't seen today's New York Times, there's a big profile about Sam Sussman. Sam Sussman, this is an autobiographical novel. So it hews very closely to his own life, but it is fiction. And Sam Sussman grew up with a single mother and teachers and friends and people who kept saying to him, you look a lot like Bob Dylan. And eventually he finds out, and he does, if you look at his author picture, he looks a lot like Bob Dylan. And you find out at some point, and he becomes a Dylan fan based on this, and at some point, and this is both true of the author and the character, finds out that in fact his mother, long before the character or Sam was conceived, actually had a long affair with Dylan.
Shut up.
And there's an article that he wrote in Harper's many years ago that became then the basis of this book. And it turns out that after much other stuff in his life, he becomes a writer. He wants to model himself after Dylan. Somehow the story comes out as, well, yeah, I had this long time ago affair with him, but there was that one time where we got back together. And so he is now tending to his sick mother and learning about her and spending time with her and caring for her, but sort of bouncing around the story of, well, am I Dylan's kid or not? And it's a fascinating book. It would be a fascinating book if that wasn't also true of Sam Sussman, the author, as it is of the character Evan, who is the Sam Sussman doppelganger, who is the Bob Dylan doppelganger. Great book. He's going to be on the show next Thursday, September 11th. The book comes out the week after that. It is getting lots of good praise, and I'm very excited that I landed him. Another book that I'm not going to be featuring, but is also a debut, called We Loved to Run by Stephanie Reintz. It is also a debut. This is interesting. It's about a collegiate team of female track runners, track and field team. And they're very good and they're very competitive. And unlike certain team sports, when you are on a competitive track team, you're not only competing for records, but you're competing against your teammates. And so it's all about what it is to be a teammate with women who you like but really want to beat, and just the whole collegiate scene. It's interesting. It's a really good sort of back to school read, I thought. This also comes out later this month, and I enjoyed it. I do not have this book because I actually took it out of the library, because I still do that. Ocean Vuong, Emperor of Gladness. Ocean is a poet, or primarily a poet. This book is poetic. It is about a young, I read it a couple months ago, a Vietnamese boy who is sort of from an underprivileged part of Hartford, Connecticut, and is really depressed and upset. And I'm not giving away anything by saying that he finds himself one rainy night on a bridge in East Hartford, and he's really planning to jump. And he sees, or is seen by, an elderly woman, Eastern European, who lives in a really decrepit house on the edge of the river, who sees him and yells out and says, "No, you can't." And he comes and becomes this woman's caregiver. And she has some dementia and other health problems. She hallucinates. And here is this young kid. He works in the fast casual food industry. So we have all the characters he works with and all sort of what's it like to be scraping by as a young immigrant with no real future. He sort of gives up his future. He lies to his parents about what he's doing. And at the same time, he takes on this caretaking role of this old woman who's been largely neglected by her children, but also needs help. It's a beautiful character development, beautiful story, unlike anything I've read. And
what's the title? What's the title again?
It's called The Emperor of Gladness. And Gladness is the name of this little area in Connecticut. And it's just really marvelous. And then I'm going to plug two books that I plugged on my show. Finding Grace by Loretta Rothschild, who, if you read carefully, you can find out is actually a member of the Rothschild family through marriage, and the most down-to-earth author. I interviewed her for Debut Spotlight. This is a great book that you cannot talk about. And the reason you can't really talk about it is because something happens at the end of chapter 1 that makes you gasp out loud. And if you say anything more about it, you're giving away too much of the plot. I will say the book then proceeds in a very interesting narrative form, and it's a story about grief and love and romance and friendship and moving on and dealing with your past and future. It also deals with issues around fertility and infertility. It's a great read. She's a delightful debut author. She's all over social media if you really want to find out about how she lives, which is fun. Her big thing is she's always cold and wears bright red socks. So the things you learn about your authors. But she's really delightful. And you'd really never know that she was a Rothschild of the Rothschild family if you were to meet her on the street. But if you read the book, you might get some clues. The No Lost Causes Club is a memoir by Lauren McQuiston, also a debut. She is a formally trained opera singer who had some nice career, but was also a very young alcoholic, drinking heavily as a teenager for all the reasons young people drink as teenagers. She's born in Scotland. She says drinking is the national hobby. And she finds herself passing up really good callback auditions for Broadway because she's kind of nervous. She doesn't know what it's going to feel like if she goes into the audition and doesn't get it, but she really does know what it'll feel like if she instead goes to a bar and gets really, really drunk. And finally, at some point, she gets to the point where she realizes that the drunk, fun Lauren McQuiston, who, you know, has all sorts of blackout moments and funny stories and scary circumstances to her life. She finds herself in strange places at strange hours that she doesn't really know how she gets there, decides she really needs to get sober. And this is sort of the entire story, but it's also sort of, she wrote it sort of as a guidebook, like, this is what it's like. And it's really not a book only for people who suffer with addiction, but it's for people who are related to or friends with people who suffer from addiction, or people who are just want to understand what makes an addict tick, what they're feeling, how they're suffering, whether they're midstream in their addiction, whether they've had a relapse, whether they are now, you know, in recovery, fully in recovery and working it every day. It really is both tips for how to be there with that person and how that person can move beyond all the understandably difficult moments. And then the last book that I'm going to plug, which you can see has all my tabs because I led a book discussion on this, is Broken Country, which everyone probably knows because it's on the bestsellers list. It was a Reese's Book Club. It's by Claire Leslie Hall. It is not a debut. It's a U.S. debut. And had I known that, I might have chosen it for my show. It was offered to me. And I said, well, she's been published before. I don't want to give her, I want to give new writers an opportunity on Debut Spotlight. So I actually said no to this without having read too much about it. And then once I read it, I realized, oh my God, I passed on this book. This is a beautiful, beautiful story, Broken Country, about a longtime married couple that has a tragic event happen. But in the midst of this, the woman's high school romantic first lover, rich boy, moves back and something clicks again. And the whole question is, why didn't they end up together the first time? Why is she with the man she married, who she's got a very stable life with? And what broke the original couple, and what may or may not break them again in the future? Because they do reconnect, and there's all sorts of drama. There's a lot of interesting narrative devices. You don't quite know. You find out at the very first page that there's been a murder, and a farmer's been murdered. You don't know which farmer, who did the murder. There's a trial going on. So you're jumping back in time periods. It is a beautifully written love story, and you will laugh, but mostly you'll cry, and you'll be really touched. So
that's for me. Crying.
Bestsellers list. What did you say there?
I said that's for me. If a book makes me cry and breaks me, that's for me.
It's all about you, Caroline.
Well, I'm getting it.
It's really beautiful. And if you want to have a book club discussion, I'll be happy to facilitate.
Great.
As Jenna knows.
That would be delightful. I need the ones that make me laugh and cry. I set a high bar there.
Well, this will make it, I don't know if so much it'll make you laugh. It might make you a little warm and spicy.
I know. Warm, spicy, and crying. That basically is like my daily life. That's like Tuesday. I just call that Tuesday. So like I'm looking for some laughs. That's why we love the Catherine Newman. And guys, feel free to put in the chat what your favorite books are so far of September. And our hosts here, if you want to continue putting your books in the chat so our viewers know and can go back to it after we're live, that would be amazing. I had a whole bunch of books, and then I forgot which books I had, and some of them my co-hosts here have already lauded, and rightly so. So I'm just going to grab two from my little shelf here. One is one that you've seen me post about a lot. Why is this not mirrored? You would think after all this time I would know how to mirror my screen since I've been on StreamYard for like 8,000 years. But I'm trying to figure out how to do that now. I'll just give you the title. It's Whatever Happened to Lori Lovely by Sarah McCoy. And I just interviewed Sarah live and in person, which we couldn't do when Blaze started, last night, the night before last, at an Unlikely Story here in Plainville, Massachusetts. Sarah's one of my besties, but even if she weren't, I would read everything she wrote. And Whatever Happened to Lori Lovely backwards here. is about a young woman who gets catapulted to the greatest heights of movie stardom conceivable, and then leaves that pinnacle to become a nun.
Oh, that's for me.
And the story has dual timelines, and there's an equal amount of airtime given to the Hollywood / Italy / glamorous movie star part and the nunnery, like the abbey. And when I first saw that described on like the back of the book jacket, I was like, I'm not going to tell Sarah this, but she wrote a nun book, and I don't want to read a nun book because I don't care about nuns. Like, please forgive me, I just offended our entire Catholic audience, but like, I just don't care. Like, I don't. How spicy can you make nuns? Not that spicy. Like, Sound of Music is like the spiciest nuns get. So I thought. Anyway, this book is full of spicy nuns, y'all. So you have like the candy-colored, like beautiful Technicolor of the acting world, but also its dark underside of peril. And then you have this nunnery that is like the equivalent, like the literary equivalent of a lavender pillow that you put in the microwave and then like put on your face or your neck. It's like so soothing and like so funny and so lovely all at the same time. So this is Whatever Happened to Lori Lovely backwards. And you should grab that. It's hot off the press. It just came out on Tuesday. And it is historical fiction, I should say. So #HisFic for the win. And next we have, I am interviewing this author as well. If you could translate just backwards, this says Bookish People.
It looks right here.
It's
What's
mirrored
that?
for us, Jenna.
It's coming right. It's coming out right.
Yeah, just not
Like,
you.
everybody who hears this is like, what are you even talking about?
It's just not for you. It's not, but for us it is. You can read it.
All right. Well, anyway, backwards or forwards. This is Bookish People by Susan Call, who I'm also interviewing on Blaze at some point, right, Karen? Like, I forget exactly when, but I think sometime in October. And Susan is a longtime literary contributor and great literary citizen. And the book, as you might imagine, is about bookish people. It's about an independent bookstore, and we love our independent bookstores here on the Blaze. The woman who owns the store is 54. She's feeling her age. I have been told this happens. She just lost her husband. And so she finds herself like the nucleus of this little, very dedicated community, which is what all bookstores are. But she doesn't really want to be anymore. And she fantasizes about living in the secret room that's embedded within her bookstore that nobody else knows about, and just kind of running away from everything. And the rest of the book kind of orbits around her. There's the point of view of a young bookseller. There's a disreputable British poet who has been compared to Sylvia Plath's husband, who's coming to read at the store. There's a tortoise, which you would love, Caroline, who also makes an appearance. The tortoise's name is Kurt Vonnegut. And it is like one of these lovely books. Like if this book were a show, like a streaming show, I would love to watch it because all the people feel really real. And yet like they're really funny, and they are all dealing with really truthfully achy things. Like the young booksellers are all like sweetly aspirational and like kind of kooky. The woman who owns the store is kind of despairing and yet not, and like digging herself deeper and deeper into a hole. The poet is awful, which is I think is apropos. And so if you love books and you love bookstores and you love bookish people, you should grab this. It's like a really feel good book for fall. So
There's a book coming in November called The Tortoise's Tale, which is actually narrated by the tortoise.
Oh,
I'm doing that one in December.
Oh, I'm so coming for that one, Ellen.
Please.
That will be so fun. And you guys, you should be checking out our Blaze Facebook, which you're probably watching us from, or our Instagram to find out, and our Instagram, and our Substack, and our newsletter, and not
our
stupid
TikTok.
Twitter anymore, but whatever. TikTok, where Kendall is the queen, and it's keeping us relevant to see what our great shows are coming up, because we have a lot of them. So I have a final sort of dismount question. What book have you guys read over the summer that maybe was not recent, but that you were like, oh my God, this is like a life changer, or like I love this book so much you've been recommending to everybody?
I'm looking at my books.
I'm looking at my list. Yes. Same thing.
I know. Look.
I've been talking a bit about two books. The Poppy Fields, whose author I can't remember. She wrote The Measure. Nicola
Krause?
Maybe. Let me look. I'll find it.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
No, by Nikki Ehrlich.
Okay.
The Poppy Fields is really interesting. It's about a place in California that people can go if they are grieving, and they will be put to sleep for 2 months.
I heard about that book.
And it's a road trip movie because there are people who don't know each other who are trying to get there, who get stuck in a closed airport because of storms, and they end up renting a car together and traveling from the Midwest out to California. And of course, over time, you learn all their secrets, and it's very interesting and it's just sort of about this idea of how you grieve and memory about people who you've lost, and very interesting, all these characters who don't belong together sharing a car and a road trip. And one that I thought you were going to mention, Jenna, Culpability.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I'm interested in I have been recommending that to people, and I will just say, like, very briefly, a lawyer and his family get into a terrible car accident on their way to a Maryland shore house for vacation, and then they end up next door to an AI tech bro, basically, like an Ogla tech bro, all the things that we're scared of. And the book kind of explores the role of AI in today's, like, who is responsible for what in terms of like terrible accidents. So yeah, it's an interesting book in that way. And Mark interviewed him on T-Bro.
Yes.
Bruce Hussinger is the author's name. He was an Oprah pick. So
yes, he was.
Yeah. How about you guys? Books that you were like, wow, this is an amazing book.
I reread The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, which I just loved. I read it years ago, and then I just reread it this summer. I just love the writing, and it's kind of like how I would love to write. It was a great book for me to read and to study again.
Sweet. And we are all functioning writers here on Blaze, y'all, in case you didn't know that.
Semi-functioning.
We're all in the trenches.
I have one.
By functioning writer.
I have one. I bought this book a long time ago when it first came out, and I just recently read it. It's called Tilt by Emma Patrick.
Oh my God, I love
And
Tilt.
I just loved it. It's a debut. She's very, very pregnant woman. There's an earthquake, and she has to get from one place to another to meet her husband. And it's just, I don't know. It's just unbelievable. It was just unbelievably good. It was one of those books when I finished, I thought, God damn, why didn't I write that? I mean, it's great. It's really, really great. She's great too.
Yeah, I love that book too. That was so good. Really good.
Was that good?
Yeah.
Yes, agree.
It's really good. Could you recommend it to people in California, though? I really wanted to send it to my BFF, but it's like about a major earthquake, and I'm like, I won't read it.
I don't know. I don't know if I would. I don't know.
The opening scene takes place when she's in IKEA, so I think that can.
IKEA, yeah. That
Maybe.
It was so good. It was so good. I just really loved it. I love the title too, and I love I think the cover has a bird on it.
Yep.
It's a bit of Tilt. It's a great book. Great book.
Yeah, it was really good. I was really glad I read that. Yeah, this is like the unsung book of the summer, I guess. How about you, Kendall?
My summer has been crazy, as you guys know, with writing and querying and all this. But no, I went back and read a ton of young adult series that I loved like 10 years ago, because I'm writing an young adult spec right now, or I'm querying it, I should say. And so I went back and reread a lot of that, and that's what I did for most of my summer. But I did pick up Bethany Joy Lenz's memoir, Dinner for Vampires. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. It's insane. I don't know if anyone's watched One Tree Hill. That was like one of my favorite shows growing up. She was Haley James Scott. And yeah, it's a crazy memoir because she was in a very serious cult while she was on that show. And it is so intense and so dark and so spooky. And obviously very glad she got out of it. But yeah, her journey, it was a very crazy ride, but it was good. I liked it a lot.
That sounds really good. Caroline is starving, like my dog Henry. We got to go, and we're going to let you all go in a minute as well, in case all of you are also starving, as I am, and my dog is. My dog is perpetually starving, though. But I love this question because we always feature new books on Blaze, and then I'm often slow to books that everybody else loved. And this summer, I read Northwoods by Daniel Mason, which was out like 4 or 5 years ago. And I've been evangelizing about it ever since. And part of it is because it's set in Massachusetts. I live in Massachusetts, like Western Mass, which is so beautiful. But it's basically the story of a house from the time that the state was first settled up until like maybe the near sort of climate dystopian future, and to sort of watch this house go through its accordion-like fortunes with different people was so great. And it's really bawdy, like it was bawdy and funny as well as being like beautifully descriptive and moving. So it was one of those things that made me laugh and cry. So for those of you who think houses are people, that would be your book, Northwoods, and it was really great. So thank you everybody for being here with us. We're so happy.
We have to do our usual plugs though.
Oh, our plug. All right, okay.
Bookshop.org, best place to buy your books. They support indie bookstores. They support organizations like The Blaze. They have every book you want, and we like to send our viewers there.
Yep.
Because we want to support the little guys always. Because the big guys, they already get plenty of our money or plenty of other people's money. And Libro.fm, our partner for audiobooks, very similar, an organization that supports and partners with indie bookstores and helps them survive. They were instrumental during the pandemic and continue to be. And they too have credits that never expire and all the books you want to listen to.
Beautiful, Ellen. Thank you. I always forget to say my thanks. I'm like a feral child.
That's why I'm here.
Ellen is my conscience. Thank you. Yeah, bookshop.org. Every time you buy a book from there, you support an indie, and you could choose what indie you send your money to, and same thing for Libro. So props to that. And thank you everybody for reading, and thank you for watching our shows, and thank you to my amazing fam here for keeping our blaze bright. And we will see you on our shows this week. I'll see y'all tomorrow with Christina Baker Klein and Ann Burt for Please Don't Lie. Okay. Bye everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye everybody. Thanks.